Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Depending on where you are in this world, God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today, I'm looking for just the right words to convey this message. It's a hard message. You will need eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to understand. A priest goes to market. He wasn't going to go to market, but his friends and family kept encouraging him and pressing upon him to go to market. And God tried to obstruct him, convict his spirit, and obstruct his way. And the Lord kept trying to block him from going to market. But he went to market anyway, and he stood in the line to get into the market. And while he was there in line, once again, God tried to obstruct him from going to the market. He went to the market anyway and picked up some things from the market. Actually, he only went for one thing. So he got this thing from the market. When he left the market, he said that it felt like he was burning from being wrapped by an evil one, the evil one, the wicked one, the one that would stand in the place where he ought not. And he felt his countenance change. And he went home from the market. And this was during the 40 days of Lent. And many Catholics know what the 40 days of Lent are. And it was the custom during that time to greet one another this way. Instead of saying hello and hello back, they would say, Christ is risen, and the other one should reply, Christ lives. Or if the first one says Christ lives, then the second one would say Christ is risen. And he couldn't bring himself to say that to anyone that he ran into. And he was having a hard time understanding this, but he felt something changed in his soul. And so as he went on through his life, and he went, being a priest, he went to the church. And when he went into the church, he said that his blood in his veins were like fire. And he couldn't have any joy or peace. And he was tormented day and night. And even the parishioners in the church turned away from him and wouldn't look at him because his countenance had changed. The look on his face was different. And it was something that the people could sense, and they turned away from him. And so he went to a friend of his who was also a priest, and he told him what was happening. And he says, oh, don't worry about it. This is nothing. It'll go away. It didn't go away. And it kept getting worse. And he couldn't say his prayers. He couldn't talk to God anymore. And he felt like his spirit inside of him had died. And so he heard about this other priest that would take this thing from him, this thing that he had ingested at the market, from the market. When he went to the market, and he ingested this thing, and so it was in his body and in his blood. And so he went to this priest that he had heard about, that did these ceremonies where they took bad things out of you. And so he went and he talked to him, and then there was this spirit inside of him that spoke to the priest, and he said, the priest asked him, well, who are you? And so this spirit inside of this priest said who he was, and the priest that takes things out said, why are you here? And he said, because I'm in the blood. And that there had been a ceremony in America that they, a lot of the spirits had gotten together and they had this ceremony. And it was because of the blood from living little humans. And that they took this and they put it in this stuff at the market. And because they did that, and that was, they had held a special ceremony in America over and about this stuff from the market. And what it was the blood from living little humans that they used to make this stuff for the market. And so this priest that takes things out was able to work with the priest that went to market. And the priest that went to market, and it was like 40 days before he could find his voice, because he got where he couldn't even speak. And he repented for having gone to the market. And God had mercy on him and took the spirit away from him that he had picked up at the market. But that makes total sense now, that the blood of little human beings was being used to make this stuff for the market. And so the hot feeling that he got, that wrapped around him after he came right after he came out of the market, and this spirit said to him, now you belong to me. And he said, and he could see his face before him everywhere he went. Whether he was awake or asleep, he could see this face before him that kept telling him, now you belong to me. But God had mercy on him when he repented for what he had done, for having gone to the market, even though God was trying to keep him from going to the market. And he had gone to the market anyway. And so he suffered quite a lot. He, when he did go into the chapel of the church, his blood in his veins was like fire. And so now I understand why our government, which is so evil, wants to have abortions up to the day of birth, because they need little human beings, living blood, to make this stuff for the market. And I want you guys to pray with everything that you have in you, to pray against this. And if you've been to the market and you've noticed a change in yourself, repent. And don't go back to the market. I heard there's going to be 7 sales at the market, where you can get this 7 times at the market. Pray against this. Pray with all that you're made of. Not only that, you repent if you've been to the market, but that others won't go to the market. And those that have been to the market, pray for them. My family went to the market, and believe me, they are all very different now. But I can't let anything come between me and God. There's nothing I can do for them other than pray. So that's what I'm doing. I'm praying for them. I'll pray for everybody that's been to market, that nobody else goes to the market, and that those people who are losing their jobs because they won't go to the market or aren't even allowed to go, to the market to get food and clothes and shoes and other things that they need. I pray that they can find the strength within themselves to trust God and to stay away from the market, regardless of what comes your way. Stay away from the market. And as always, I love you.